BRICS is bad. BRICS is bad. They're trying to destroy the American dollar, but they don't exist. Haven't seen them in a long time, so they don't exist.
Well, do they not exist? Or are they existing and trying to destroy the American dollar? Uh, let's talk about it. 大家好，我是 Suran 在中国. Hey everyone, it's Suran China. How y'all doing today? I hope you're having a lovely day. I am having a fantastic day, of course, over here in China, and it keeps getting better every day thanks to my fantastic viewers and supporters. Now, it's really easy to support the channel. If you're not a subscriber yet, all you've got to do is hit that subscribe button below, and if you like the content I'm making, throw a guy a thumbs up. It really goes a long way in helping the YouTube algorithm to find my videos and to share them with more people. And hey, there is a super thanks button down there and a couple links in the description as well if you wanted to buy a guy a cup of coffee, but that's completely up to you. But for today, let's talk about something really big, that being BRICS. Now, you've probably heard the term thrown around in the news, but what is it really? Is it just some fancy acronym, or is it a legit power player in the world? Well, it's kind of both. But before we get into more detail, let's have a quick look at none other than Donald Jason Trump's absolute lie fest when he's talking about BRICS. And then we'll come back and break it down.
How about BRICS? You know, the BRIC states, there are like 6 of them, and they were trying to destroy our dollar. They were going to say, you know, they wanted to create a new currency. They probably wanted to use the yuan, China. They wanted to use the yuan. And Biden said, well, this is a tough situation. There's not much we can do about that. We can't help that. I said, oh, we can help it. So when I came in, the first thing I said is any BRIC state that even mentions the destruction of the dollar will be charged a 150% tariff. And we don't want your goods. We don't want to partake. And the BRIC states just broke up. I don't know what the hell happened to them. We haven't heard from the BRIC states lately. But he said that wasn't much we could do about it. There was a lot. It took once, and literally, they said, sir, what about the BRIC states? They're going to take over the dollar, the sanctity of the dollar. They're going to create a new currency to rule the world. I said, no, they're not. They said, yes, they are, sir. They said it. I said, no, they're not.
Whew. That was a big mix of lies and misinformation in just one little minute of video. Wow. Before I break that down and point out all of the absolute garbage lies that Donnie boy was talking about, I thought we'd actually take a bit of a quick look at what BRICS actually is, how it got started, who's in it, and how it actually works in today's global scene. First things first, what does BRICS even stand for? Well, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The first letters of those 5 countries make up the acronym BRICS, right? And they represent a whole lot of influence in the world today. Now, together, these nations represent about 40% of the world's population and a massive chunk of the total global GDP. Around 25% or more, depending on the year, of course. But BRICS isn't just a random group of countries that decide to hang out. It's an alliance with a purpose, born out of a mix of ambition, economics, and a little bit of rebellion against the Western-dominated world order. Okay? So BRICS was founded originally back in 2001, but not by the BRICS countries themselves. It was actually an economist named Jim O'Neill, who is a big shot at Goldman Sachs, who coined the term BRIC, B-R-I-C, no S yet, to describe 4 fast-growing economies, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. He wasn't saying they were a team, he was just pointing out that these countries were about to shake up the global economy. And he was absolutely right. By the early 2000s, these nations were growing like crazy. And thanks to China's manufacturing boom, Russia's massive energy exports, India's tech rise, and Brazil's natural resources, he was absolutely right. But here's where it gets interesting. In 2006, the BRIC countries said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to actually meet up? and talk about these things? So the foreign ministers of Brazil, Russia, India, and China started having talks on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Then in 2009, they made it official with their first summit in Russia. The goal? To coordinate on economic policies and flex a little muscle against the US and EU's dominance in institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. Now, South Africa wasn't in the original crew, but they were invited to join in 2010, and in 2011, BRIC became BRICS with an S. Why South Africa? Well, even though they're a small country, they are a powerhouse in Africa, and having them gave the group more global reach. So that's, in a nutshell, how BRICS was born. Why did they team up? What was the real reason behind it? Well, it's not like they were best friends or bosom buddies, geographically or culturally. They're all over the place in that regard. But the answer is more towards power and money. In the early 2000s, there was a time when the US and Europe were calling all the shots. Think about the IMF, the World Bank, and setting the global trade rules. But these BRIC countries decided, hold on, we're growing fast. We want a bigger say. And they felt that the global system wasn't giving them a fair shake. Like how voting power in the IMF was still heavily skewed towards Western nations. Plus, the 2008 financial crisis hit the West hard, while BRICS economies kept chugging along. That was a wake-up call. They saw a chance to build something new, a bloc that could challenge the old guard and push for a multipolar world where power isn't just concentrated in one or two places. So it's less about friendship and more about mutual benefits. So, how does BRICS actually function? It's not like NATO, with tanks and treaties, or with the EU having a shared currency. BRICS is a looser type of arrangement. It's more of a partnership than a hardcore alliance. The main event is the annual BRICS Summit, where the leaders meet up and talk big ideas and set goals. They cover stuff like trade, climate change, tech, and development. But it's not just talk. They've built some real tools to make these things happen. For example, the New Development Bank, or NDB, launched in 2014. And it's like their own version of the World Bank. The NDB funds infrastructure and sustainable projects in BRICS countries and beyond, without the strings that often come with Western loans, like demands for political reforms. It's headquartered in Shanghai, and each country chipped in to give it a starting capital of $50 billion. And then there's the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, the CRA. That's a $100 billion pool of cash they can dip into if one of them hits an economic rough patch, like a safety net for currency crises. The idea is to depend less on the US dollar and IMF. Speaking of which, they've even tossed around the idea of a BRICS currency or payment system to dodge the dollar's dominance. But that's still a work in progress. At the moment, it's still easier for the BRICS nations to just take care of all their dealings and transactions in their own currencies, which simplifies things massively. So let's talk about impact. BRICS isn't just talking shop. It's shifting the global balance. The trade between BRICS countries has exploded over the years, and they're pushing deals with their own currencies instead of the dollar. China is, of course, leading the charge here with things like the Belt and Road Initiative, tying in to BRICS goals. Meanwhile, the NDB has funded projects like solar plants in India and highways in Brazil. It's not all smooth sailing because, of course, these countries, like I said, are not necessarily friends, so they don't always agree. India and China have had border disputes. Russia, of course, has its own geopolitical drama going on, and Brazil and South Africa have their own domestic struggles. But BRICS continues expanding and growing, inviting other countries like Egypt, Iran, and the UAE to join, making it a much bigger club with even more clout. So where's BRICS headed? Well, some say it's the future of the global economy. I tend to believe that myself. A counterweight to the West as power shifts east and south. Some people think it's overhyped. Some people think it doesn't exist. Donald. Some people think it's just a loose group that will never fully come together. But what's clear is that BRICS is all about options, giving these countries a way to flex their muscles without bowing to the old rules. Whether or not they dethrone the dollar or rewrite global trade, well, that's to be determined. But they're definitely in the game. So that's kind of the basic rundown on BRICS. And if we actually take a look here, I'm going to bring up the Wikipedia page for BRICS and show you some of the member states that are currently in it. Now, these are the summits that have been happening and where they've been happening over the years. But this is what I wanted to get to. So, as I said, Donald Trump says there's 6 nations in BRICS. Well, let's take a look at how many there actually are. So the member states, these are states that are already in the BRICS group, consist of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, obviously. And now, in 2025, member states include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and very recently, Indonesia. And this is a big one. A lot of people think, oh, Indonesia, just a little small island nation. A small island nation with almost 300 million people and a massive GDP. This is a huge new member for the group and gives them so much more power. And they've just come in this year. Also this year, I believe it's already happened. It's not updated on Wikipedia yet, but I believe Thailand has been accepted as a member. And they are also looking to include Nigeria, which would be huge. As one of the largest and most populated countries in Africa, with oil, gas, and tremendous natural resources, that would make them a serious power player in the BRICS organization. So now come the partner states. Partner states are people who are countries, not people, who are prospective members and have either been invited or are hoping to be invited. And those are Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, and Uzbekistan. So again, 6 members? 6? Crazy. And then on top of those, the partners who have been asked to join or are awaiting full membership, there are other observer states as well who have not yet been invited, but they have expressed interest in becoming members. Those countries being Algeria, Turkey, and Vietnam. So as you can see, this is huge. There are so many giant economic and political players coming into the fold. G7 is made up of just what it says, 7 countries. BRICS now has at least 11 countries already, with another 12 countries itching to get in. This is going to make them a massive player in the world economy and is really going to shake up the world when it comes to economic and quite possibly political power. One thing is for damn sure, US hegemony is in huge trouble based on this. And you know who else is in huge trouble? Mr. Donald Trump. I want to go take another look at Mr. Donald Trump here because I want to look again at his video and go over that video with you because, like I said, liar, liar, pants on fire. Let's go through this video bit by bit and break down exactly the lies that this man is saying.
How about BRICS? You know, the BRICS states, there are like 6 of them.
There are like 6 of them. No, there are like 23 of them, 11 of them full members. not 6.
and they were trying to destroy our dollar. They were going to
No, no, they're not trying to destroy your dollar. They're trying to get away from you holding all the cards. They're trying to have an equal shake in the world economic scene that, of course, you don't want them to have.
say, they wanted to create a new currency. They probably wanted to use.
No, no, they're actually using their own currencies, and they may choose a common currency. Speculation has it that it will be the renminbi, but they're not creating a new currency. They're just tired of dealing with yours.
Use the yuan, China. They wanted to use the yuan.
They want to use the yuan. Okay, first things first, as the President of the United States of America, to not realize that the yuan is the currency of Korea, not China. Now, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is he making that mistake on purpose to be disrespectful? In the same way that I call him Donald Janus Trump? Or in his addled, brick-filled brain, is he confusing them? Or is he just so bad at pronunciation that he's trying to say the yuan, but he's saying yuan? Personally, I think he's being disrespectful.
And Biden said, well, this is a tough situation. There's not much we can do about that. We can't help that. I said, oh, we can help it. So when I came in, the first thing I said is any BRICS state that even mentions the destruction of the dollar will be charged a 150% tariff. And we don't want your goods. We don't want to partake. And
oh, no. You're going to charge 150% tariff on our products? Which is exactly why they're creating BRICS, is so they don't have to deal with that tariff bullshit, so that they can develop their own trade relationships and cut you right out of the picture. Go ahead. Charge your 150% tariffs. Go right ahead. When these people make up 60, 70% of the global economy, you're going to be crying because nobody's going to be paying your tariffs because they're not going to be selling you their products. Period.
the BRICS states just broke up. I don't know what the hell happened to them. We haven't heard from the BRICS states lately.
No, we haven't heard from the BRICS states. All 23 of them. They just disappeared, gone. Yeah, you scared them away, Donnie. You scared them away. You go, girl.
But he said that wasn't much we could do about it. There was a lot. It took once, and literally, they said, sir, what about the BRICS states? They're going to take over the dollar, the sanctity of the dollar. They're going to create a new currency to rule the world. I said, no, they're not. They said, yes, they are, sir. They said it. I said, no, they're not.
I said, no, they're not. No, they're not. I said it. I said it. And therefore it's true. So there we go. Lying like a sidewalk. The liar in chief trying to create a narrative to support his own version of crazy. And it's ridiculous. So I personally 100% support the creation of, the expansion of, and the success of the BRICS nations, because I think it's about damn time that America and the EU gave up their stranglehold on the global economies and global business and let somebody else have a try. Let's see if this conglomeration of other countries can do it better. And if they can, well, Donald, Jimmy Trump, you're going to have to do better. Oh, well. Anyway, that's enough about BRICS. That's enough about the liar-in-chief for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, throw me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.